Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on a massive, almost invisible operation that keeps our entire global economy humming. And it all starts with a pretty simple question. How do the world's biggest ships actually fit into our ports? I mean, we're talking about vessels the size of skyscrapers lying on their side. These behemoths are built to be super efficient, but how do they squeeze into our harbors without, getting completely stuck? The answer is, well, it's a lot more involved than you'd probably guess. Okay, so think of ports as the bustling heart of the global economy. They're these incredible hubs where massive ships meet trucks and trains. It's where everything connects. But here's the thing. This heart is under constant attack from a natural force that's always trying to clog its arteries and grind the whole system to a halt. And that brings us to this silent, slow clog. This is really about nature's constant challenge to our global trade network. It's this never-ending battle between our concrete and steel and the planet's natural rhythm. So here's the deal. Every single day, rivers and ocean tides are carrying tiny bits of sand, mud, and silt, and they just drop them on the bottom of our waterways. It's a totally natural process called sedimentation. But over time, all that stuff builds up, and the water gets shallower and shallower. For a giant container ship, a few feet of lost depth is a huge problem. It's the difference between smooth sailing and running aground. So how do we fight back against this constant clogging? Well, with a process called dredging. It's basically the large-scale removal of all that built-up gunk from the bottom of waterways to keep them deep, clear, and open for business. Think of it as the planet's biggest deep cleaning project. And you really can't overstate how crucial this is. Dredging is what allows those gigantic, super efficient ships to even get into port. That efficiency means lower costs for pretty much everything we buy. It's also about safety, keeping those shipping lanes clear and deep. And it makes it possible to have specialized docks for everything from grain to cars. No dredging, no modern port. Simple as that. Okay, so let's get into the how-to. Dredging isn't a one-size-fits-all thing. It really breaks down into two main types, the big one-time projects versus the constant cleanup. Think of it like this. On one side, you've got capital dredging. This is the heavy construction. We're talking about building a brand new port from scratch or making an existing one way deeper. They might even have to blast through solid rock. Then on the other side, you have maintenance dredging. This is more like mowing the lawn or cleaning the gutters. It's the routine work of clearing out all the silt and clay that's built up since the last time. All right, you can't just move millions of tons of mud with a shovel, right? You need some serious hardware. So let's take a look at the incredible machines that make this happen, the real tools of the trade. First up, the cutter suction dredger. This thing is an absolute beast. Imagine a giant rotating drill head, like something out of a sci-fi movie, chewing up hard-packed soil and even rock on the seabed. Then a powerful pump sucks all that broken up material through a pipeline. This is the go-to tool for heavy-duty new projects. Then you've got the trailing suction hopper dredger. The easiest way to think about this one, it's literally a giant underwater vacuum cleaner. This ship sails along, dragging these huge pipes along the bottom, just sucking up all the loose sand and mud. It stores everything in a big tank on board, called a hopper, and then sails off to dump it somewhere else, super common for maintenance work. And then there's the backhoe dredger. This one is super straightforward. It's basically a massive, powerful excavator, just like you'd see at a construction site, but it's sitting on a floating platform. It's all about brute force and precision, perfect for tackling hard material or getting into tight corners where the other machines can't operate. And finally, a really clever modern technique, water injection dredging. Now this is different. Instead of scooping or sucking up the mud, this method uses high-pressure jets of water to stir it up. It basically turns the packed sediment into a liquid cloud, which then uses the natural currents to flow away into deeper parts of the channel. It's a much gentler approach. So we've got the tech, but having the tools is only half the battle. Now we're getting to the next competitive frontier. For developing ports all over the world, this isn't just about moving mud. It's about their ticket to the big leagues of global trade. But man, the challenges are huge. First off, the price tag. We're talking billions of dollars, which is money most governments just don't have lying around. Then you've got the problem of finding local experts who can manage these massive projects. Add to that a web of tough environmental rules and the fact that a port is useless if you don't have good roads and railways connecting to it. It's a massive puzzle. Yeah, as the saying goes, for developing ports, the path to global trade is paved with immense investment and careful planning. And that just hits the nail on the head. It's so much more than digging a ditch. It's a huge strategic move that takes a ton of money and a really solid plan for the future. So with all those hurdles, how do you even get started? How does a port chart a course for a deeper, more prosperous future? Well, it really comes down to 3 key strategies. Number 1, you need strategic investment. That means finding smart ways to get private companies to help pay for it. Number 2, integrated planning. You can't just think about the water, you have to plan out the entire network of roads and rails. And number 3, you've got to be a good environmental steward. You have to do this responsibly. Let's talk about that money part. Most governments can't foot the bill for a multi-billion-dollar port project on their own. So what's become the global standard? Public-private partnerships, or PPPs. Basically, the government teams up with private companies. The companies bring the cash, the tech, and the know-how to build and run things efficiently, and everyone benefits. And this isn't about short-term fixes. The really successful ports are playing the long game. They have a detailed master plan that looks decades into the future. They're asking, what will ships look like in 2050? Where will trade be coming from? That way, the billions they spend today will still be valuable generations from now. And at the end of the day, it's all about finding the right balance. You have to match that economic ambition with a real respect for the environment. That means working with local communities, protecting fragile ecosystems, and using the smartest, most sustainable methods available. It's not about growth at any cost. It's about smart, responsible growth. So really, you can think of a truly competitive port as standing on 3 essential pillars. First, you need that channel depth, and that comes from dredging. Second, you need that smart financial investment. And third, you absolutely need that commitment to environmental responsibility. If one of those pillars is weak, the whole thing can come crashing down. So next time you happen to see one of those dredging vessels out on the water, you'll know what's really going on. They're not just moving mud. They are literally carving the superhighways of global trade. They're building the very foundation that our modern prosperity stands on. It really makes you think, doesn't it? Dredging is this massive, powerful, and almost totally invisible engine that powers our world. So here's a question for you. What other hidden engines are out there, working behind the scenes to make your everyday life possible?
If you found this useful, subscribe to AMS Ports and Logistics for more insights into Africa's port and shipping industry.